Hi everyone, my name is Fabiana and in today's tutorial I'm going to be making this messy bun ponytail headband. As you can see, is elasticized on the top. This is a one layer one, okay, it's not double layered, and that's why I could make this ribbing on the bottom. So I'm going to be explaining to you how to make the ribbing on the bottom, add an elastic on the top of it, and also how to swap colors without making knots like I made here, okay? As you can see, there's no knots. So these are the three things I'm going to be showing you how to make for today. The pattern for this beanie will be down in the description below. There is a tutorial for free on my website if you wanna see it for free. And if you wanna print it without ads, you can purchase the pattern on my Etsy shop, that's down in the description below, or on the link for this beautiful messy bun pattern that's down the description below as well. So let's get started, guys. What size circular knitting machine do you need to make a messy bun ponytail beanie? Well, it depends of the size you want to make. So if you are making for an adult, you're gonna need the Sentro 48 or the ADDI 46. Just be aware that the ADDI 46 might make a little too tight one, so it will be better for small adult heads. Now, if you're making for kids or babies, for babies you can even use the 32-pin knitting machine, and for kids from 4 to 12 years old, you can use the Sentro 40 to make a ponytail beanie. So how long is gonna take to make a ponytail beanie? It's gonna take you around 1 hour maximum to close it with the elastic and everything, so it's a short project that's for beginners as well. And so how long should the messy bun beanie be? So it should be around 7 to 8 inches if you are making an adult size, and I'm going to be making around 45 rows because I'm making a single layer one, okay? If you are making a double layer one, consider making doubling this number of rows, so it should be around 90, okay? So let's get started. And so which yarn should you use? You can use worsted weight yarn or double knit weight yarn. I'm using worsted weight today, and I'm going to mix these two beautiful colors. And the amount of yarn you're gonna use is for one single layer is less than 100 grams, and probably around 50 grams, okay, but it really depends of the length you are making. So today I'm going to be using these two yarns here. I'm gonna be also needing a little bit of waste yarn on the beginning, and I'm going to need also any elastic band you have to make the finishing on the small little hole on the top, okay? So to make this messy bun beanie, you are going to cast on using all the stitches of your knitting machine on the tube mold. At the end, put the yarn inside the yarn guide and behind the needle, the last needle, and then you can start cranking your machine for 3 to 4 rows with the waste yarn, okay? Put the yarn inside if you have any tail left, and then now I'm going to use this first color here, and I'm just gonna make stripes with the other one. So because I'm making a little ribbing, I'm going to make with this first yarn here, I'm going to make 12 rows before I change to the other color, okay? And that's because I'm making a ribbing after, and I'm gonna show you how to make this ribbing quickly, of around 6 rows, which is gonna be around this wide. Okay, so 12 rows with this yarn. Make sure your counter is back to 0. So instead of 12, I made 10 rows here because I want to exchange the colors every 4 rows, okay? And I'm making 40 rows for the total size of this messy bun. So I'm going to exchange the color now to this second color that I have to make the stripes, and I'm going to make stripes every 4 rows. So I'm going to show you how to make these stripes without cutting the yarn and making knots. So for this first time, I'm going to just add the yarn there and start and leave this yarn that I was using before in the middle here, so I can come back to use this later. So I'm not gonna cut it, okay? So now make 4 rows with this other yarn. Okay, 4 rows. So I'm going to now, I put this yarn here that I was working with here in the middle, and now the yarn that I was using before, I'm going to just put it back here in front of the first needle, and now I'm going to make 4 rows again with this second yarn. So I'm gonna alternate in between these 2 colors, and then until I have 3 stripes of this color, and then I'm going to make this same 10 rows at the end, okay? And then when you finish all these rows, you should have 30 with all the color changes, and then you can cut this yarn, the one, not the off-white color, the other color, put it in there and just start using the solid color that you used to start with, and make 10 extra rows with this color here. And then at the end of these 10 last rows, just drop the yarn in, so it's there for you to bind off the stitches later, and make a full row without the yarn to release the stitches from the needles. Let's go all the way to the one before the last one, so otherwise this one will come out of the needle, and you don't want that. And then start casting off with the waste yarn and a tapestry needle. I prefer casting off this way just because it's much more easy to remove this waste yarn after, and that's why I do this way. And it's also easier to work with the loops and make single crochet as well, or even to make this ribbing. I'll need only one tail at the end, one strand of yarn at the end. That's what you want if you want to make a ribbing in anything you are working with, really. If you are making ribbing on sleeves or something, you can use this same technique, okay? That I'm going to be explaining right now. That's how the color changes they look like. As you can see, it's pretty much can use it, but if you wanna use the jogless join as well, you can use that too. I just don't mind how it looks like because my stripes you can't really see, so that's fine for me. But if you prefer the jogless join, just go for it. Now I'm going to explain how to make the ribbing after this. So after I removed my messy bun beanie from the machine, that's what I have. And these are the color changes here. And this is how the back looks like. I finished this one here, so make sure you finish the other one. I'm gonna quickly show you how I do it. I use this one to actually make a knot like this. Make two if you prefer. That's a very easy way to finish it, and then just put the yarn inside a few stitches this way. Always making sure you can't really see spot the stitch on the front, and then make your way back for a few stitches so this doesn't open. And then you can cut these yarn tails here and here. Okay, so now to start making this ribbing, and I'm going to make a 2x1 ribbing in this case, okay? Just be aware that if you are using an ADDI 46, because 46 you can't really divide by 3, you need to use 1x1, okay? So make sure you pull all this yarn tail here until this is very short on the other side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make the ribbing, and at the same time we are going to bind off stitches. So always make sure this loops very wide here, and you can remove this tail from here. Always making sure this loops very wide, otherwise your messy bun will be tied at the end on your head. Put the hook through the second stitch, yarn over, pull it through twice. Okay, so I have 2 stitches kind of finished here. Now with this next loop here, what you want to do is you want to open it for 6 rows, which means you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these yarn strands here. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna flip it over so it's easier to remake the stitch, and you're gonna remake this stitch this way. Put the hook through the loop and then just, sorry, my yarn just split. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's good to have a bigger hook like this. My hook's a 4.5 millimeters, okay? Then once you reach the top, flip it over, grab that loop from the last stitch, and we're gonna bind off the next one. So also make sure these loops are very wide again. That's a very important part of it, otherwise it won't fit your head. And then now after I remade this, I have the loops, and some people call them little smiles because it looks like a smile this way. And here are my V's of the knitting stitch. These are the loops of the purl stitch. And now we're going to make 2 more stitches. 1, 2, and then I'm going to leave this, take this off, undo for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again, and repeat the process. Always make sure you grab all these yarn strands on the right order, otherwise it's gonna look like a mess. Okay, so put the hook through the loop, the yarn tail has to be on the back there, and then make the stitch. And make 2 more and repeat this all around the piece. And then I'll repeat again. So I'm going to be doing this all around my messy bun beanie, and then I'll come back with you to finish this and to add the elastic on the top as well. So as you can see here, my last stitch is a purl stitch, and now I have these 2 here. Make sure again the loop's very wide, pull through, and then you can cut the yarn. And then put through these 2 loops here, pull the yarn, and then again, making a slip stitch. And then again, put through this, let me see if it's this, yeah, this one, and then pull it this way. This is how your finish will look like. And then here on the back you can make a knot. Just make sure this fits your head before you do that, okay? Now if you realize that this didn't fit your head, what you have to do is with the tapestry needle and another piece of yarn, what you have to do is open 1 stitch by 1, put this yarn back through each one of the loops and remake again with wider loops, okay? You don't need to remake all these again. All you need to do is grab 1 by 1 and then remake these, okay? For me the size is perfect, this fits my head. So I'm gonna show you how to make the other side now. Tail through this last loop here. Just leave the tail there for the, just leave a tail there for now. And then we're going to start making single crochet slip stitches here, just like we did on the other side. So next loop and slip stitch, next loop and slip stitch, and this time you don't actually need to make the loop so wide, just because it's gonna close on the top, and so we don't need wide stitches this time, it's just on the bottom. So I'm making this all around, and then I'm going to remove this waste yarn. I'm going to show you how to remove the waste yarn. So I reached my last stitch here, and now I can close this with a slip stitch. See, I'm using the first two loops of the first stitch, and then I'm just gonna pull it through twice, like this. Make sure you open a wider loop so it won't come out. It won't come out. And then just let's see here. So the yarn you have to pull is this one. See, it runs through all the stitches. That's the one you have to remove. We're going to hide this elastic with crochet. So to do that, that's the way you grab. Just put the elastic on the back like I did here. Go through the next stitch, put the hook through the next stitch, and underneath the elastic, pull and pull it. Yarn over, pull it again. And then into the next one, underneath the elastic like this, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Just make one stitch to every single stitch. Until you reach the other side, and then pull it as you go. As you can see, it's gonna close like this. And so this way you have more space to work as well. Because the elastic band's really quite small. Okay, so repeat this all around. Then I'm gonna quickly show you how to finish here, and I'm gonna also show you how it looks like in my head, on my head. I got here to the last stitch. I'm just gonna repeat what I did before. So just cut the yarn, put the hook through the first stitch, grab the yarn, pull through this stitch, and then back into that same stitch this way. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look like. And then you can make same way I did. I always do this way, very easy. And then I really like to grab smaller hooks to make the finishings. It's just much easier. Just put it through this way. Stretch this so it goes to the right place. Then you can cut this yarn, finish that other two. And so this is how it looks like. I'm gonna wear it now just to show you guys how it looks like. And if you want more ideas for other beanies, I made a video with 50 different types of beanies you can make on your Sentro knitting machine. So make sure you check that one next. Thank you for watching, guys, and I see you on my next tutorial. Bye!